Hey guys, and welcome back to another video here with Angel B Designs. If you are new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. What I'm going to do today is I am going to show you how I put together this dad tile for Father's Day. Let me go ahead and turn this down. But this is a tile that I've used for the mom tiles for Mother's Day. So what I did was I just took some premium vinyl. I found a Thor image on Etsy here, and then I put on the side Hero to go along with the Thor SVG, and then right here in the middle it says World's Best, and then obviously Dad. Okay, so this is a Father's Day tile that I thought was a really cute idea. If you have any extra tiles laying around for Mother's Day, you can definitely utilize these with grandpa, papa, dad, you know, whatever the case may be. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to design and put this together in Cricut Design Space, cut it, and then put it together on your tile. So if you want to learn how to do this, go ahead and stick around. All right, guys, so I'm going to start off on the computer here, and I'm just going to show you how I created the template and how I did everything. And how I designed it. I did do everything in Cricut Design Space. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide all of this stuff so I can go ahead and start from scratch. The first thing I did is I got my template, which is going to be just a square. So I'm going to go over to shapes. I'm going to get a square. And basically all I did was I measured my tile, and that's how I got the measurements for this template, which is 11 wide by 3 high. Okay, so this is going to be our template, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it white to make it easier to work with. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some text. And I'm going to type the letter D in capital letters, and I'm going to change it. I think the one that I used over here was the Cricut Sans. I did want like a bolder font, just so that it's easier to see and work with. So let me see if I can find it. Let me search all. Okay, here it is. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make it the size that I need, which is about, that's a pretty good size right there. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate that. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn these black because I want to design it the way I'm gonna cut the vinyl so that I can, you know, make sure my colors look good. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and upload my Thor image here, which I did get this from Etsy. I just typed in Thor SVG and I got this. I'm gonna turn this red because I'm gonna cut it out in red vinyl. And then I'm just going to add it to these Ds, and I'm going to size it to the way it needs to be sized. Okay, and then I do want the red to kind of be sitting on top of the Ds, kind of like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is highlight all 3 of these and group them together. And then I'm going to put them on my template. I'm going to unlock it, and I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit and get it sized correctly to make sure everything fits. Okay, so that looks good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to ungroup this. I'm going to select the hammer, and I'm going to attach everything so that I know everything is going to cut the way I want it to. Then I'm going to select this D, and I'm going to select this D, and I'm going to go ahead and attach those as well so that when they cut on the Cricut, they cut with this amount of space in between the 2 Ds, so I don't have to try to line it up manually, okay? I'm gonna send those backwards. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is get more text here. And I'm gonna type a capital H, text, capital E, text, capital R, text, capital O. Then I'm gonna select all of these and I want to, is it center horizontally? And then distribute vertically. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna just kind of like roughly place them. I'm gonna highlight all four, distribute vertically. So now all the space in between all four letters is gonna be the same, and then center horizontally. And then I'm going to group and attach those letters and turn them red. And then I'm going to resize them to fit over here on the side. All right, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate hero, and we're going to do another one on this side. I can actually make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, I think that looks good. Actually, they're not the same size, so I'm going to delete that one and just duplicate this one because I like the size of this one. Okay. All right, and that looks about the same. I'm just gonna double check, make sure I didn't leave anything out from my original design. Actually, let me select all of this. I'm gonna group it and move it out the way. And then I'm going to unhide all of these so I can make sure. Oh, I forgot to add the world's best. See, that's why I kept my original design. Okay, so I want to add the word world's best on top, okay? And the way I'm going to do that is I am going to get some text and I'm going to type in world's I want to do an apostrophe. The problem is I'm not going to do it because it gets really annoying when you're trying to weed it out, especially with this text and the fact that I'm using an offset. So I know it's not grammatically correct without having the apostrophe, but whatever, we'll all live. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change this to I Love Glitter, and you can get this from thefont.com. And just upload it to Cricut Design Space. Then what I'm going to do is go ahead and go back, and I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to press the straight line key on my keyboard. So it's the button for on mine. I have a Windows PC. It's a straight line and there's a dash line and it's underneath the backspace. Okay, on my Windows dashboard, on my Windows keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to hit shift and press that button. That's going to give me the shaded heart. If you want this heart that's not shaded, you're going to do shift and the shift and the straight line. What is it called? Oh, what is it called? The hyphen. Okay, the hyphen. Like if you had that line, that hyphenated names, you're going to press shift in that button. Okay, but I want the shaded heart, so I'm going to hold shift and push the vertical line. And then I'm going to go in front of the W and do the same thing. And then I'm going to go behind the T and do the same thing. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I select it. And you want to weld this because the I Love Glitter font tends to kind of cut weird if you don't weld it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my offsets to it. Just waiting for it to do its thing. Does anybody else's offset like take forever? My offset takes so long all of the time. All right, there we go. And I'm gonna bring the size down a little bit. I don't want it to be super big and bulky and like chunky. Bring it down. I think the other one was like 0.067. I think that was the one that I liked. Yeah, I like that one. Then what I'm going to do is the offset is going to be white and the words are going to be black. I'm going to go ahead and group those so I can move them around and size them the way I need to. And they are going to go right on top. Okay. Right on top, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and hide all of these again so I can finish designing. Okay. Okay. And this is all going to be permanent vinyl that I'm going to be using. I think I'm using the Cricut brand for all of my vinyl, but if you use this specific file, so the reason why I did not just slice this is because when you use the slice feature, you can only slice 2 things at a time. Because this middle part, this SVG actually has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces in it. So when I tried to slice this along this SVG image here, it wouldn't let me do it because there was too many pieces selected. It was more than 2. So that's why I opted to do the offset and not slice it, because it won't let me slice it because it only lets you slice 2 pieces. But this is going to be the design. Everything's going to be cut out in vinyl. So I'm going to go over here to make it, just to make sure that everything is attached the way that it needs to be attached. And I forgot to hide that. I don't need that template. So I'm going to go back over to make it. And I'm just going to make sure that everything is the way that it needs to be. And what I like to do to kind of make this faster is I'm going to cut everything on one mat. So I know that I'm going to put a piece of white vinyl here. This is going to be a piece of black vinyl. And I'm going to make sure that the black is with the black. Okay, and then these are going to be red, and I'm going to go ahead and move these over to my mat as well. The same one mat, and I'm just going to put different color pieces of vinyl on one mat so that I only have to cut it on one mat. And if you need to, you can go over here to material size and change it from 12 by 12 to a 12 by 24 if you have a 12 by 24 mat, to give you some more room if you need it. Okay. And then, like I said, I am going to go ahead and cut on my permanent vinyl setting. I do have this already cut out, so the next clip is going to be me putting it together. So I will go ahead and meet you guys at my craft table. Okay guys, so I'm going to start off with my the 2 letter D's, because those are going to be the very bottom layers. As you know, that the top, the red Thor image, that is going to be on top of the D's. So I want to make sure that I'm layering the 2 D's on the very bottom layer. And I'm just lining up, and the reason, now you can see why we attach them, because when we go to take them off of the backing, they're already the size that they need to be, you know, spaced out as far as they need to be, without me having to try to figure out the spacing. Now this red piece of vinyl here was giving me nothing but trouble. Those little small little like lightning strikes, they were so little and they were just not cooperating at all. It took me so long to get this vinyl off of this backing, and then when I went to put it on the tile, I was having a hard time getting it on the tile as well. So if you like absolutely must use this X-Acto image that I'm using, just understand that those little lightning strikes are going to be nothing but a headache the entire time until you finally get it. I mean, it is very, very cute. You know, after I got it together and got it off and got it onto the tile, it worked out, but it was just a headache getting it onto this tile because those lines were so small and skinny. But yeah, I was having a hard time. So if you can find another Thor image, I would say try another Thor image. After like a half an hour, I finally got it on there. Now I am moving on to the bottom layer of the offset, the white part. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that on top of everything because that's gonna be, it's just gonna sit right on top of it. I did talk about already why I did not slice it and I opted to do the offset, which was because the Cricut Design Space will only let you cut slice two things at one time. And because the Thor image, it was an SVG file and it had 4 different pieces, it wouldn't let me slice it. So now what I'm doing is I am going into the black lettering, and this is going to go on top of the white offset. These black letters were also giving me a problem when I was trying to get it off of the backing for the same reason. The I Love Glitter font is very thin. It's a very thin font. So if you decide to use this font, again, just be aware that you may have a little trouble getting it off of the backing because the font is so thin. But I did end up getting it after struggling for about maybe 10 minutes. I kept cutting the camera off because I didn't want you guys watching me struggle for a whole 10 minutes. But I got the black lettering onto the transfer tape, and now what I'm doing is I'm just taking a piece of parchment paper and I'm laying it down, and this is so that I can make sure that everything gets lined up before, because you know you're trying to line up the front piece and then the bottom piece sticks and then you just have a whole mess. So the parchment paper is to make sure that your vinyl doesn't stick before you're ready to stick it. So I'm just kind of moving the parchment paper down as I'm making sure the black lettering lines up with the white lettering. As I got to the second heart, things started to kind of look a little crooked, so that's why I had to kind of go back and readjust. And like I said, it works out if you use the parchment paper because everything lines up perfectly. And then I just use my fingers to kind of push it down, and now I am removing the vinyl. I'm sorry, I'm removing the transfer sheet. And then I just have these 2 last words, hero. These came up pretty easily, and I'm going to be putting those on the side. All right, guys, so I am finished here, and I just kind of wanted to show you in a regular speed the tile and the finished product. As you saw, I was having a little bit of trouble with this red vinyl, and it's because you see how small these little lines are. That's what I was having trouble with. So if you are like heart set on having Thor, this same Thor image, just understand that these little lines here, they're gonna give you some trouble, okay? Or, you know, if you can find another Thor image that's maybe not as intricate, then I would definitely go with that one, because like I said, this one was giving me a lot of trouble while I was weeding it and trying to get it on the tile. But it's just because of the lines. Really, that was it. Everything else worked out just fine. I really love how it came out. It's super, super cute. But that is all I have for this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, bye.